What you track is what you focus on. Hey, I'm Pastor Matt here with your Missionary Pathway Mission Insight, and I want to challenge you a little bit today. If you're a 21st century American, then you are in love with metrics. Now, it doesn't mean that you're a type A personality that puts everything on a spreadsheet, but I can prove to you that you're in love with metrics. Here's how. How many steps did you take today? Why do you even care about how many steps you took in a day? Because of the invention of the Fitbit and the Apple Watch. When Fitbit and Apple Watch started tracking how many steps you were taking in a day, all of a sudden that became the focus. Did I move enough? Did I take my 10,000 steps? Why do you care about that? Because you started tracking it, and the things you track are the things you focus on. Now, why is this important when we're talking about mission and disciple making? Because Jesus told us to focus on disciple making. In Matthew 28, he said, "Go and make disciples." Now, he didn't say go and make disciples and then track your results on a spreadsheet. That's not why we're saying metrics are important. But we're saying it's important because Jesus told us to focus on that, and the things we track tend to be the things that we focus on. So if we want to focus on disciple making, we have to find some ways to track some disciple making metrics. So point one, are you tracking the right things? It's really important to look at the existing things you're tracking and what those things are causing you to focus on. For most churches, it's really simple: attendance, baptisms, and cash. And while those aren't bad metrics, if those are the only metrics we're tracking, they don't really give us a good picture of discipleship. So we need to look at the things that we're tracking, and we need to ask ourselves the question, why are we tracking these, and what are they causing us to focus in on? Not that you're going to get rid of all the things you're tracking, but you need to make sure you're focusing on some things that get you focusing on disciple making. So the next question would be, do you have some simple disciple making metrics? Do you have some simple things that you can track that will help you track the process of disciple making? It could be as simple as looking at how many people do we have in life groups? How many people do we have that are engaging in scripture? Simple disciple making metrics that help us determine the life of a disciple. What are people doing in the life of a disciple, and are we tracking that? Next, balance out your attendance metrics with your disciple making metrics. Look, the reality is you're probably not going to get away from the attendance metric in church. It's just something people feel, well, married to. And that's not a bad thing. I think it's important to know how many people are coming out on average in worship. But it's also important to know how many of those people are engaging in community together. How many of those people are reading scripture throughout the week? And if we start tracking some of those things, then it can allow us to do some simple disciple-making metrics that focus us in not just on how many people showed up in worship, but how many people are making steps throughout the week to grow in their faith. And so finally, if you're looking for some things to track, you could track something as simple as next steps. Next steps is something that we track at the church I'm going to, Faith. And one of the cool things about that is when we're tracking next steps, we're looking at people's progression in discipleship. So did somebody move from simply attending to getting engaged in life group? That's a next step. That's a disciple-making move. And so as we begin to track some of those next steps, we're starting to look at the life of discipleship and if somebody's growing. Now, are all the metrics we use perfect? No. Are metrics the only thing you need to focus on to make disciples? No. But the reality is this: as 21st century Americans, the things we track tend to be the things we focus on. So as you're thinking about the things you track, think about some simple disciple-making metrics that can help you focus more fully on disciple-making in your church. Hey, if this was a help to you, click like and subscribe and share it out with somebody else that needs this encouragement. And also, if you'd like to learn more about disciples and disciple-making, check out some of the great resources we have on the Kairos Network. You can follow us or sign up for free for Missionary Pathway, or check out any of the other great free resources we have, like the Discovery Bible Study mini course or the Bible Reading Toolkit. They're all there and available for you. So till next time, it's a joy hanging out with you right here on Mission Insights.